Saturday, October 3, 2015. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and this is my 1983 Mercedes 240 diesel. Okay, starting this week's update. What have I done in the past week? It really doesn't look like a whole lot, but, once again, out here, I was out here in the evenings, and I did as much as I could. The first task I had for the week actually was removing the car's old water pump, and I actually have it right here. I can show you. This came off the engine, and I'm actually not convinced it's in very good shape anymore. The bearing does seem to be sticking a little bit, so I think this is probably closer to the end of its life. I mean, this was actually a quality part. I believe it's an original Mercedes part. There's a very faint Mercedes stamping there on the impeller, and another Mercedes stamping, another faint one, kind of right down here on the body of the water pump. So, the point I'm trying to make, and took a while to get there, is that the service this car has had in its lifetime seems to have been done correctly and with quality parts. It's one of the reasons I wanted to bring this car back from essentially junkyard condition. So that brings me to where I am now. I have a lot of the new parts in hand already. I'm not sure what order I'm going to do things in because I got a lot of little stuff here to do, but I do need to clean up the water pump housing and get the new water pump installed. I'm not going to install the thermostat housing just yet, because I am going to want to pull the intake and exhaust manifolds, clean that up, and get a new gasket in there. The new gasket is due to arrive on Monday, so I won't be able to complete that this weekend. And, other things like installing the new glow plugs and changing the belts. I'm really, at this point, in the final stage of the project, which is where I'm catching the car up on a lot of its maintenance. A lot of it's already been done. I mean, the brakes are completely serviced, the suspension is serviced, the CV axles are replaced, the rear differential has new fluid, the transmission has new fluid. So that's where I am, and I'm going to get to work now. And I will update you with my progress at the end of the day. Okay, I'm nearing my stopping point for the day, but I think I'm going to work just a little longer, but I'm finishing up the video right now. Primarily what I did today was I removed the intake and exhaust manifolds. I actually also fitted a new thermostat short hose. I'm not sure you can see it down here, but here's the old one, and this is basically a very thick piece of hose, but it's a short length, an inch or two, and this bridges the thermostat housing and the water pump housing. So I got that hose fitted in place. I got the water pump housing cleaned up. I got the corrosion off it. Like I said, I got the intake and exhaust manifolds off. Those kind of come off together. Unfortunately, I did end up unthreading 3 exhaust/intake manifold studs from the engine block, so I'm gonna have to deal with that right now. No big deal. I mean, didn't damage anything other than removing the studs, so once again, that'll be easy enough. Just to get studs back in there. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to replace the intake and exhaust manifold gasket. Give me 1 second, I'll show you the old one. Okay, here's the old gasket. Like I said, there's one gasket for the intake and exhaust manifolds. This one looks like it was still sealing the exhaust and intake manifolds to the engine, but it's a metal gasket, and they do get rusty, and they do start to leak after time. This one is probably original to the engine. It's probably never been off, and although it still had a little bit of life left in it, it did not have much life left. So it's a good thing I'm replacing it. It's just another one of those things that's good to do while I'm in there. And here are the intake and exhaust manifolds. The intake manifold being the cleaner looking of the two. And I'm going to be doing a bit of cleanup on these before they go back on the engine. The exhaust downpipe bolts are rusted in place there, so I'm actually in a very good position right now just to cut those off. And like I said, I'm primarily interested in cleaning up the intake manifold, checking out the EGR valve, but you know, all just good stuff to do while I'm in here. So that's where I am for today. I'm going to get back out here tomorrow, and like I said, unfortunately, I just don't have that gasket in hand yet. I should have that Monday, and hopefully Monday I'll be ready to get the intake and exhaust manifolds back onto the engine. I don't really see myself having much problem with that. I'm going to get back to this tomorrow. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy. Thanks for watching.